an active source of inspiration and recruitment for terrorists.
All right. Former State Department senior advisor Christian Whiton is with us. My premise is that the president is taking a huge political risk by releasing terrorists and not taking a firm stand against Islamic terror. What say you?
Yeah, it's politically stupid. It's also stupid for policy. But politically, this is something the American people support. They are in favor of Guantanamo. They're in favor of enhanced interrogation. That's a separate issue. They are opposed to catch and release, and they're opposed to bringing these people stateside. And, you know, Ernest is basically lying. He said 6%. Actually, the Obama administration itself reported 2 years ago that 28% of people who are released return to the fight or suspected. It's probably higher than that because we don't have perfect information. So of the 5 that were recently released, you can expect that at least 1 will return to the fight at a very high level.
Can you explain this to me? I've asked every guest on this program why the president is doing this. Why such a soft approach to an obvious terror threat? Can you explain it to me? Why he's doing it?
I think in the 2 years Obama was a senator before he decided to run for president, I mean, it was like Woodstock for the progressive movement today. And at that point, when Iraq was going poorly, and they thought, well, there must be some other way to approach this whole thing, this whole war. And ultimately, they want to blame America first. It is America, to them, that is jihadism, which of course they can't call it that, not some ancient force that has gotten new life in the modern world, not this desire to unify mosque and state, and so it's things that we do and we just need to stop doing them. That was just the fundamental bedrock philosophy of the progressivism that Obama bought into. He's the most ideological president since Woodrow Wilson, and no amount of facts is going to change that.
Okay, I wonder if, did you see this? Just watch your monitor for a second there, Christian. John Kerry, he's in Paris. He says he's not there to apologize, but there to give a big hug. So he brought James Taylor, the singer, brought James Taylor along to sing "You've Got a Friend." Look, this happened. This is diplomacy. I mean, this is our response to terrorism. John Kerry goes to Paris, the scene of the disgraceful butchery, and he brings James Taylor to sing "You Got a Friend." What do you make of this, Christian?
Literally, you couldn't make this stuff up. If I wrote a novel and put that in that, it would have to get cut. I mean, no one would ever believe it. I mean, it would be funny if it weren't so dangerously provocative, because Putin is watching this. Xi Jinping in China is watching this. The mullahs in Tehran are watching this, and Kerry really ought to go. I mean, this is just terrible. You know, and also John Kerry thinks there are only 2 countries in Europe, Germany and France. Go back to the 2004 campaign. We had a very broad coalition, including places like the UK and Spain and the Dutch and the Poles and the Czechs, and none of that mattered to Kerry. So I think he feels really upset that we're at, you know, crosswords with Paris. But
this is not going to change,
Christian. Patch up anything.
I mean, this is not going to change. We've got 2 more years of this in which we put a very, very soft, retreating face on our country vis-a-vis terror. I just don't think that's good news. What do you say?
It's not. It's going to get bad because, again, Putin has really gotten no pushback, no serious pushback to what he's doing to Ukraine. The Iranians are swindling us. The Chinese are going, doing whatever they really want to in the South China Sea. Iraq and Syria have collapsed. You know, this caliphate that we were joking about as sort of a punchline a year ago has now come into being in the Middle East, and nothing Obama is doing is likely to reverse that.
Well, we've got a presidential press conference with David Cameron from Britain coming up a little later on this morning, and we'll see what questions the president answers and how he answers them. Christian Whiton, thanks for joining us, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.